Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities in Miniature. It is time for my favorite part of the week, usually at least when it's not blazing hot, and that is another dose of Obscurities in Literature. And today has been a very sudden change of topic. So this book in front of all of you all was suddenly put into my hands by my ever so gracious brother, and I do assume that he is planning on getting this back at some point, so I should be extra careful with it. But this chonker, I mean this thing is fat of a book, is none other than the Warframe art and design concept book. You can only get this through the company itself. Originally it was in hardcover, and I have this weird suspicion, and I could be wrong here, that the softcover actually expanded a little bit upon what was already in the hardcover. Don't take my word on that. I have not played Warframe to the extent that other family members have, to any close degree. Not at all. But I have been a fan, and there's no denying that it has a lot of varied and interesting, unique designs, definitely gracing its both pages and screen. So without further ado, I'm going to attempt to start flopping my way through this book. And we have a quick breakdown of the various sections. Now what's interesting, you'll notice, is there's even a section on Dark Sector. Dark Sector, I've been told repeatedly about it, and that I've played it, and I can't really remember it. That's no surprise. Jumping into the book. So here's the stuff on Dark Sector. I feel like it was, I'm sure it was on PC, but I feel like it was on like Dreamcast or PS2 or something. I don't know. Everything from that time frame is just kind of a blur at this point. It needs to be said that I played a lot, and I mean a lot of games in that era. I was in college. I was just getting started in my career, and I had an awful lot of free time. So yeah, I absolutely put it to use. Like, it looks familiar, and I don't know why, which is really weird. One of the cool things about this book is there is tons and tons of environmental designs. If you're into that kind of thing, you are going to enjoy this. But more importantly than that, and it feels like we're already into Warframe era stuff, unless Grenier were in Dark Sector, and I just didn't realize that. There is something for everybody in a book like this. I'm basically only showing you one side of the page just due to how the book is laid out, and it's not all going to fit on the screen, obviously. Maybe we're still in Dark Sector. For some reason, I often confuse this with Slave Zero. Why? I don't know. And again, I'm only showing you guys bits and pieces of this here. It's a little disappointing in the sense that there is not a lot of explanations behind everything. I would assume that this looks like the opening of the the beginning of the game, I should say, first game, because it's just like, well, games within a game at this point, but that's a whole different story. There's just not a lot of explanation if you're not familiar with this stuff, which I could see being kind of a problem. But then again, I think the average person who's going to be picking up something like this is probably going to be very well versed in what they're getting themselves into. Behemoth. Some of this stuff looks familiar, some of it doesn't. Like I said, it's been a while since I've played regularly, and, well, recently, I hate to admit. I do try to keep up with all this stuff going on at, like, the TennoCons, and family do tend to keep me posted on all of the various happenings. I know I had quite a few different frames. I could not tell you which ones they were anymore. And I know there's been quite a few more since they were released. But if you're looking for interesting sci-fi concepts and designs to get your imagination fired, you're definitely going to find plenty of interesting, funky stuff in this book. And I'm barely 50 pages in, and there's a good couple hundred more. Vehicles are in here, ships are in here, ship interiors are in here, drop ships are in here, pets are in here. Like I said, some of this stuff looks incredibly familiar. Some of it not so much. And some of it's just fun. Part of the reason I feel like I haven't played as much as of late is I do not have a system really capable of doing the game justice. Just lots of weird, fun designs. Again, like a book this size, you can pretty much guarantee there's always going to be something you're going to dig out and find. Personally, I prefer my books in a traditional format. I know some people like the horizontal format. It's not like I don't have plenty of art books that match that. Lots of fun, weird bioorganics. If you don't like your sci-fi to be very stereotypical, well, you'll find plenty of interesting things in these pages, and even if you're not a fan of the game itself, there is a lot going on here. So yeah, I guess to me the only real disappointment is I really would love a blurb here and there on some of this stuff. There's just that much content. Look like some of the open world places. Hubs, whatever you call them. That's a fun one. You look almost 40k-ish. Where's all the weapons? I haven't come across much in the way of weapons. We have vehicles now. Again, we're not really spoiling too much for you guys. Plenty of fun, weird alien designs. Pretty sure I have a good idea what those were. Say what you will, Warframe definitely has some fun designs. I'm not finding much in the way of weapons. Well, here's some at least, finally. Like, I know I had some cool stuff. There we go, that's what I'm looking for. I know everybody always likes to hype up all the craziness of games like Borderlands, but I always thought Warframe had some pretty fun designs with the stuff you can get in the game. I take back what I said. Okay, this whole back section seems to be nothing but weapons, and now we're getting into pets. But that's okay. And like finally what looked like some frame designs. Oh, I think some of this was actually the artwork that was submitted, if I remember correctly, and I could be wrong. I believe some of this stuff was artwork submitted for the various contests. Maybe this stuff is. There's all kinds of stuff. Sadly, and I think the biggest travesty of the game at this point is the fact that we don't have a tabletop version. The design, well, admittedly, some of the designs would be a bit of a challenge to replicate on the table without them falling to pieces, shattering instantly, because they're just that spindly and, you know, I don't know, dangly and too many little bits. But heck, you know, there's plenty of decent, you know, compact frames that don't have lots of little bits and bobs sticking all out waiting to get snagged on your jacket when you get up from the table. But at the very least, you know, the game will always exist in the digital world. Hopefully someday we'll see something for the table. I'm surprised, honestly, there haven't been more deterministic sculptors out there who've taken a shot at some of the frames, but, you know, maybe we'll see something official in the near future. Who knows? I mean, the game's been around for quite a few years at this point. There's always those new and expanding horizons, right? But at least for the time being, looks like this, despite a not necessary but always appreciated little bit of info here and there about some of the stuff, there's a lot to enjoy and appreciate. Hopefully my quick little look here into it, as my throat is killing me because it's so hot and I've had to talk so much lately. Hopefully there's something that will get your inspiration flowing if you're looking for that as well, or just appreciate all of the work and dedication that's gone into the game for all these years. In the meantime, good luck finding a copy, because unfortunately these things tend to get snatched up and never let go of afterwards. So if you're interested, do keep an eye on the game's page where it's got the link to the store where you can look for it, but they do tend to disappear quickly. So in that case, happy hunting. And with that said then, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.